Here from StampWithLorraine.com. Today I have a very different card for you that has more of a retro or a graphic look to it, and you can do this really easily by just using your layered circles or your stitched shapes that have a lot of different sizes to them, and you can just pop out a lot of different color circles and make really kind of interesting graphic looks to your card. So stay tuned to see how you can do this. And if you like it, don't forget to give me a thumbs up down below. And don't forget to check out more details on my blog, StampWithLorraine.com. Okay, so today we're using the layered circles. You can also use the stitched shapes that have different size circle dies to them as well. And we're going to turn them into cards that have these really neat swirls to them. So by using the circles and layering them, flipping them, you can also get two cards out of one technique of doing this. So I'm going to show you how to do that. Kind of gives this little swirl. It looks like a wave. This one, they're right up against each other. These I put a little strip in between, and they're separated, so it takes up a little bit more of the card. And we can, of course, do it in any colors, but I kind of like this one. Looks like a wave to me because it makes me think of the beach in summer. So basically, what you want to do is take different size dies. You can play around with the sizes as long as they are different, you know, going from smaller to big. And you're going to glue them so that they're all close to one side, but just in size order. Okay, so it kind of gives a little bit of that rainbow effect. And then you're going to take the same colors and do it again, but just in reversed order. So these go from light to dark, and these go from dark to light. And then you want to cut those in half. And you might notice this one's just a little bit smaller than that. It's not going to matter because once you put it together, it's just going to look like that nice kind of swirl. Anyway, this one kind of looks like an eye, right? So two ways that you can do that. You can glue them all together. Sometimes what I do is I'll line them up on my grid paper, find out the center. I could mark a little spot there if I want to get close to where the center is. Because this is going to be 4 or sometimes more layers, it might be hard to get through with your regular paper trimmer. But you can at least start it and then finish it off with your scissors. Or you can use, if you have a guillotine cutter, this one helps get through a lot easier. So, or you can just eyeball it often like what I do. So I'm going to kind of figure out about the center of that and put it up against there. Okay, I know it's about a 3-inch circle, so I'm at 1.5, so I know I'm pretty close to the center there. All right, and kind of go through. All right, so you have 2 parts. That one is a slightly smaller there, but that, like I said, it's not going to matter. So I'm taking a Night of Navy card base, and I'm taking another layer of Whisper White at 4 by 5 1/4, and I ran it through the Tasteful Textile embossing folder. I love this one. This one is one of the new ones that has that little subtle, feels like fabric, but just enough so it doesn't look too plain and blah. Okay, so I'm going to pop that up with dimensional dots. I already put those up on top there. So let me pull those off. Okay, so center that on my card. And then when you have these, you're going to use one of each, and you're going to flip them around sideways, and you're going to match up the white to the white and the different swirls. So that's what you're going to start with. You could have more colors, just bigger circles. I just kept it to 4 right now. You might notice this one is pretty much that same thing there, just with the other side. So I'll just show you like this. So that's how I started that one. This one I just used Pacific Point. This one I did Night of Navy on the background. What I did with this one started the same way, but I just took one more Night of Navy and added that to the bottom. So the bottom has that extra layer there, just to kind of finish off, so I'd have navy on top and navy on the bottom. So you can leave it like that and just glue it on, glue it together if you like, or you can separate it a little bit and put some kind of border across. So a couple ideas on this one. I'm not sure if you can see. I just made a little banner cut on the end, tucked the other end under my sentiment, popped my sentiment up with the dimensional dots, you know, just to kind of bridge that gap so I could spread this out a little further. For this one, I'm going to do it just a little bit differently. So let me glue this down. Just trying out different looks. So I'm going to put that down there and get that relatively straight. And you can spread it as part as you want, depending on how wide your border is. Oh, that was great. Okay, so as long as I'm covering that, we're good. Lining up the colors, the light blue, Pacific Point, white, and Night of Navy. Okay, and even if it's slightly off, it's okay, because you have that swirl. It's not like it's going to look like it's not matching at all. Okay, so now this I'm going to just put straight across. And then I'm going to, I've already embossed a sentiment on Night of Navy with the white. I'm going to put that on top there. Because this is different layers, you will probably have to be a little careful with how you're gluing things down. Obviously, the side with 4 layers is going to be higher than the side with just the 1. So I think I'm going to use dimensional dots to pop that up, because then you won't notice the difference in the heights. Okay, then I'll stick that so it goes right across. So you have, like I said, it looks like a wave or sort of a retro look to it. Very graphic kind of a look. So I thought that was kind of fun. Okay, that's a little crooked, but I can fix that a little bit later. So 3 different looks and that color scheme, and now I have the other halves to create another card with. So again, it's like getting 2 out of 1. So I kind of like that. Or it looks like ice cream swirls, right? Soft ice cream swirls. That could be fun too. Okay, so another idea with that same concept, just different colors, different looks to it. You can do something that's more of a rainbow. So I use the colors of the rainbow: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, violet. And so here's the one that way. And the other one you have to glue down in the opposite direction. So I'm using Real Red, Pumpkin Pie, Daffodil Delight, Garden Green, Pacific Point, and Gorgeous Grape. So just gluing those down opposite order. Okay, and then cutting them in half. Probably best to let the glue dry a little bit. This one I did last night. So again, I know my biggest circle is about 2 3/4. So if I go a little less than 1 1/2, it should be pretty good. Now this one is 6 layers, so you need a good chopper. Like I said, start it, if you don't have a guillotine cutter, start it with your paper trimmer and then finish up with your scissors. So we'll go a little less on that. Chop, chop, chop. All right, so here we go with that. Okay. Oh, here we go. All right, so you're going to get that little rainbow swirl. Okay, so I thought since it's very graphic and colorful, didn't need too much color on the background, so I took black with a layer of white, and I thought that would give a really neat, make that rainbow color pop. All right, oh, and by the way, this alone, before you cut it, of course, could have kind of a neat look as well. I took Happy from the Well Said stamp set. You have lots of sayings on that. And then I took Birthday from the Well Written dies, and to put that across, either down here or across the rainbow, sort of hanging off, could give a little bit, a very graphic kind of a look, modern look with that. But we're going to make our rainbow, because that's what we set out to do today. So going to match those up like that. Let me glue those down. So over here, I actually took an extra circle in the red to cover that up, so I have something to place my sentiment on without it looking like a half circle. I could do the same thing with the purple, but I chose, this is just going to go across anyway, so I wanted that to go on some of the white. So I'm just going to stick a little Happy over here. Put this on top of the red. And I think I'm going to stick a little dimensional dot underneath there, because there is a lot of space. I want it to take up some of that space. So that way it's not going to dip or get caught on anything. It'll hold it down nicely. So I'm going to line this up so this can go here, and the Happy can go on here. And then the birthday can go across there. So I'm not going to take time to glue all that down right now, because that would take a little while. I didn't put the peel off on the back of this one. I was just kind of experimenting, so I didn't bother doing that until I knew I was going to like it. So there we go. You could do that, or you could put it down here. It has a nice crisp, very colorful look. So that could be for a kid, a man, woman. So that's very versatile kind of a card. And now one more with a similar look to it. Now this one I actually copied from another demonstrator on Pinterest, online, but I just thought it was so pretty. So let me show you that. So using the Gilded Autumn designer paper that's in the mini catalog. Here we have that Gilded Autumn suite with these colors of the Mint Macaron, Crumb Cake, Cajun Craze, Early Espresso, and White. It's kind of a different look to the autumn colors, tying in that rust color and the crumb cake, but with the Mint Macaron, it really makes things pop. So I used the striped one. And so when you're making these circles, you don't have to use just the plain cardstock. You can use a piece of designer series paper to make part of it pop. And also, to make it up a little bit different, I used the Tasteful Textile embossing folder on one of the circles as well. So to kind of give some design, some texture to mix up the circles. Okay, so going to glue those down real quick together. We have those there. I'll cut them in half. Again, that's my 2 3/4 size circle. This one will be a lot easier to cut than the rainbow. And remember, you're going opposite order on each circle. Okay, I'm going to just hold off on this one for a minute, because this is just going to be a little accent piece, a little extra on the one side, kind of like what I did on the blue here. Added an extra rim to the bottom part. Okay, so we're doing white on white with a popped up layer of the embossed white on top of the cardstock base. Okay, that's the ones I want there. Okay, then I punched another one in the mint macaron to tie in that mint macaron from there. And this suite comes with a stamp set, and it includes the acorn and the leaves and 3 little punches that you can punch that all out with. I did not purchase the stamp set, but as part of the DSP, it has those same images here. So I just fussy cut. Yes, they're little, they were tiny, but I was able to fussy cut it and put it on here. So that is going to go right here. But first I'm going to put a little sentiment across. And the sentiment comes from The Love of Leaves, which is also part of that suite. And it says, hope changes everything. So I thought that was a nice sentiment for the acorn, because that hopes to be a great oak someday, right? Stamped in early espresso, stay down. Okay. Thank goodness for my adhesive eraser. I love that. When that glue dries, I'll be able to just erase that right off. So I'm going to stick this right over here. And I would have liked it to be right here, but that's okay. I'm going to stick it up here a little bit. I think that'll look just fine as well. So let me do that with dimensional dots. Okay. Okay, so there you go. So you have a lot of different looks. I'm interested to see what you guys come up with. Okay, so have fun.